then like I don't think you can expect to like capture other markets.
Okay.
Because you don't have your own market. Like it sucks to leave your house sometimes and like get out of your house, buy a ticket, get your friends to come with you. Like it's a whole thing.
Hey friends, it's Ryan, the Friendly Designer, and welcome to another episode of our Friendly Podcast. Today, I'm joined with Liv Johnson, founder of Almost Nakey, and a La Jolla legend.
Aw. What's up, guys?
We're so stoked and appreciative to have Liv on our Friendly show. Buenos tardes.
Hi, guys. Oh, I'm so grateful. This is so special. Ryan's a major legend. I'm super grateful to be on this amazing structure. We love it.
Yeah,
are we going to feature it at Freedom Fest?
This one we will not feature at Freedom Fest, but we will have some Friendly Futures activations and some friendly love at Freedom Fest. We'll get into that in a sec.
Good.
But I'd like to start off our lovely conversation by asking you, what does friendliness mean to you?
What does friendliness mean to me? Well, I think that we're so lucky. We're from a community, right? We're from La Jolla. And that community culture is so important, and loving your neighbor, and truly having a connection with people around you, and feeling like when you walk outside, you wave to people and you recognize all of your friends around, and that authentic place where you're born, and then wanting to be close to people that are near you. I think we live in a world of 8 billion. How many billion people is it?
A lot.
We're designed to be around community. I think we're, as humans, that's what we're supposed to be doing. And I need human interaction all the time. I love my family, I love my friends, and I'm constantly trying to be around them more. So the friendliness that occurs is an exchange between people you love. So I'm so grateful for that. I think La Jolla has been such an amazing incubator for love, because we were all so close to each other.
Yeah.
We went to high school together, we grew up together, we played together, we swam together, we surfed together, we got destroyed at Windansea together. It's the whole thing. We've bonded, and that is such an important piece of our community.
I love how rooted you are. One, you told me you're 5th generation San Diego, right?
6th generation SD.
6th?
6th.
That's gotta be maximum.
Yeah, no, it's very, very long time ago.
That's I mean, I think the city of San Diego itself was founded at the end of the 1700s or something like that.
I don't even know how it makes sense. Because I guess it's I don't really know. It makes sense, but I don't know how. Because it seems like it would be Quaker, early, coming on the Nina Pinta Santa Maria.
I mean, wow, that's really cool. And I like how your definition of friendliness has one a geographical component to it, right? You're I want the people who are close to me for me to feel close to them. You talked about your family, you talked about your friends, you talked about your community, not even of even the massive or the 3.5 million people that live in San Diego, but specifically your neighborhood. And I think that's really interesting and kind of insightful. I was gonna ask you, how did you why did you start Almost Nakey? Why did you get into the business of creating community? It sounds like you've just always been yo, I need my people. So this is something I need. It's kind of my superpower, and I want to share it with others. But in your words, why did you start Almost Nakey? Why did you have this calling to create community?
Well, I think that, as far as I'm concerned, if you're building anything, if you don't have your community, you don't have anything. Mm-hmm. If you don't have the 20 people around you, and then those 20 people, that's things don't, I think these things grow based on the support that you're standing underneath.
Yeah.
Right? And if you don't have that immediacy right around you, then I don't think you can expect to capture other markets.
Okay.
Because you don't have your own market. So I've always felt when the parties started, originally Almost Nakey started as a bikini company when I was 16 at Bishop's. And we were selling bikinis out of the Volkswagen bus at lunch. I had a manufacturer in China. So we were making bikinis that way. I was sewing them, sending them to China, getting them back, and then selling them out of my Volkswagen bus on the quad. Huh. So that was when I was 16 years old, and thankfully my friends liked them. And then since my friends liked them, then they would kind of tell friends, and then people turned out to like them, which was nice. And then I went to college. I did the same thing with my sorority, my homies. I got evicted and terminated from Alpha Phi, but I was in it for a short period of time. And when I was in it, all my homegirls there were we want to do a bikini pop-up, so we do bikinis.
Okay.
And then that grew to other girls. Mm-hmm. And then I moved to Indonesia. I was manufacturing in Bali. I was living there. I lived in New Zealand for a year, and then I went there. And then I brought them all back to college and sold them again. And we did a huge pop-up the last day of school. we're on the quad. I knew everything was going to load out on this one place on the quad.
Yeah.
All the buildings were positioned to load out at 12 o'clock on a certain day. So I have this set up. And then the classes let out, and I built this like huge baby pool structure, like all these baby pools, and my Volkswagen bus and everything. And then we just sold all the bikinis. We made like a lot of money, and we ran away with it. And then the police came, and they were like, "You can't sell bikinis on campus. You can't sell anything on campus." But I remembered that Steve Jobs had a similar situation like this, and he was like, "Well, it's all a donation." So we ended up saying that every $30 donation went to my college education, and that's how we sold the bathing suits.
Okay.
Yeah.
One
Exciting.
fascinating story.
Yeah.
I like the shout out to New Zealand and to Bali.
Yeah.
So all right, so you're selling bikinis and whatnot. How does that then translate, or at what point does it become more about community and more about events and more about celebrations?
Yeah. So I think everybody liked it. Thank goodness. I don't know what it was, but like it just Almost Nakey name kind of grew a little bit, which was very special. And then we decided to open up our event. We opened up our office in La Jolla.
Okay.
Because I felt like we all needed a place to go and hang out. And so we opened our office right above the crab catcher in downtown La Jolla.
You felt a need for just a space for you and your friends to go.
Yeah. And then we did a launch party, and it went really well. And it ended up being like, and then the next one was like a 500-person party. And then the next one was like a 1,000-person party. And people felt like safe, and they felt like they could be free and alive. And like, I'm like, in the land of Almost Nakey, like you can do whatever you want. You can make whatever you want. Like you're free to be and act and live in this environment. And it felt like kind of raw, and like it felt like high school again. Like I think like the Almost Nakey feeling like is like the best party. It's like in my eyes, like the dream would be like it's the party that your parents went to where they met and like banged for the first time, and like they tell you about it, that it was the best party they ever went to. So it was like so raw and real. Hopefully. It's kind of like a Freedom Fest, a SantaCon. Like that's that party where you met that person and like that thing happened, because it was like just that environment where like you had no rules, like you were free to be.
So what do you do, like what are the conditions that you kind of design and create for these events so it feels like that fantastic party where you are going to meet like your spouse, or you're just going to have like a fun makeout sesh like that's going on? Like
it's
how
like
do you
super
create that
high,
environment?
super high level experiential design.
Got it.
So like I focus on like really out of control deco. Like massive inflatables. We have a manufacturer in China. We make like 80-foot Santas, and like I've actually like gotten into the inflatable business through this as well.
Yeah.
Because we're manufacturing all these inflatables in China. We have a huge deco team that's so fantastic, and we activate like every single corner of the venue.
What do you mean when you say deco?
We build like huge, like ornaments, like sorts of decoration, like massive ornaments, massive flags, massive inflatables, like the whole thing like that.
Interesting. So, because you said also like you're free to do what you want at Almost Nakey events or at Freedom Fest and whatnot. So it seems like you kind of create almost a surreal environment that feels different, and maybe from that like new perception, people feel more welcome or invited to be freer, right?
I think it unlocks your inner child in a way.
80-foot Santa. It unlocks your inner child.
Yeah.
Okay, so by creating these massive inflatables, I know you have like a 50-foot eagle for Freedom Fest, right?
Yeah.
I love that Instagram video, by the way.
Thank you.
That kind of can tap into your inner child, and it can make you feel, oh shit, this is a different space, so I can kind of behave in maybe a way that feels more authentic to me, rather than how I'm more reserved in other environments.
I think that what we've done is we've created like the anti-normal festival.
Got it.
Where like in these environments, like it's not about like how sick your table is or like how much Don Julio you are drinking. Like that's cool. But like in the crowd is like where we're pouring champagne on you. We have a strawberry disco circus. There's this amazing experiential like circus. And like being in the crowd is kind of the magic.
A strawberry circus.
They're called Strawberry Disco Circus, and they come in and like activate in the crowd. They're on stage. They came out with Chromeo and Cherub, and like we'll pour champagne in your mouth and like and whipped cream and strawberries. So like the vibe is like you're free to act and be crazy in this environment. Like it's not about like you bought the most expensive table and like you're only behind the DJ booth and you don't leave. Like I'm trying to break that DJ booth culture.
Yeah, so
which
it's
is
not
a great
statusy.
It's not. It's really not. Like, and I feel like once you enter, I mean, if you're in a Santa suit, no one can tell whether you're wearing like a Chanel outfit or not, right? Like you're in it with everybody. It's like it's a beautiful thing.
Thinking about like design from a holistic experience, right? So you have these massive inflatables. So there's an 80-foot Santa for SantaCon, one of your celebrations you put on.
Yeah.
But you're also encouraging people to show up in Santa costumes as well.
The costume's a big piece.
A through Z, people are just, the design conditions are changed, they're shifted, and therefore you get the behavior to shift, right? And in a way, that's going to become a lot more friendlier, or at least people are definitely more socially interactive. I mean,
well, they're completely enrolled.
Yeah, if you're making out with random people on the dance floor, that is the definition of friendly.
It's very friendly.
It's very friendly.
And the beauty of these events though has been like the massive level of enrollment, like truly where it's like, you know, like everyone's really committed to like having a really good time. Like our main copy on our lineup was like, we're officially shaking ass. Because it's just like, I want to ignite like that it's okay to have pure fun.
Yeah.
Like that's really what it is. Like I want to tap into that beast of like, you have no rules here. Like there is no status inside. Like you are purely in your environment for fun. That's why you came here. And I think like a big thing with all these events is I'm like, it's so hard to get out of your house. Like it sucks to leave your house sometimes and like get out of your house, buy a ticket, get your friends to come with you. Like it's a whole thing.
So like I want to talk to you about that.
Yeah.
Because I think that's one of the kind of remarkable aspects of what Almost Nakey does is I agree, right? People are, in general, in San Diego, like your house is comfy, your apartment is kind of comfy, right? Like
totally.
It's easy to just stay inside. And in general, like you're on your phone, you're watching Netflix, like whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yet it seems that people have at the same time, it's like ironic, right? They have a strong appetite to be more social, to know their neighbors, to know their community. What do you do? I know your Instagram pops off.
Oh
but what are some of your strategies to get people out of the house, to get them to gather with their friends, to pay for a ticket, to come and say, hey, we're gonna get social, we're gonna be friendly for this afternoon? How do you make the magic happen?
Oh my God, that's so sweet. I think the thing is like, I think what I've always, like my biggest mission in it is like, I've tried to truly like come across as like how much I care. Cause like I care so much about these events because like everyone together is such a magical, the highs are so high.
Yeah.
And like the wins are so big. And like I try to like, you know, like for Yin Yang Twins, we're bringing out like the amazing dancers from Cheetahs. Like we're bringing out like we've got we've got the whole thing. Like we've got money guns, champagne, like the whole experience.
Yeah.
Like it's so like if someone's gonna agree to come, like I have to deliver 5,000% what they thought it would be, like beyond their expectations.
Exceed
like
their expectations.
I have to fill that so that they want to come back.
Okay.
And like that's been something that's so pure for me is like I want to blow people a mind, or like I want to blow their mind with it. I want them to feel like I'm giving them their money's worth and like really doing that. So like I think I try to be like as raw as I can, like on IG, like yo, I really care about this. Like if you guys come, it means so much to me. So like I think like really coming from an authentic place has been like a win. And I think some production companies like try to play it cool. Like it's not like, you know, there's cooler things, but like to be honest, I don't play it cool at all. Like I just love people and like pull up because it's gonna be fucking awesome.
Just loving people, I think, is in my mind a huge like kind of like prerequisite for getting in a friendlier world, right? Is having that appreciation. And some people are annoying and people can act annoying at times, but if you have that love for people, I feel like that's so valuable. And I feel like your festivals help create for opportunities for more people to love more people.
Thank you.
So I'm curious about some of the designs. So like your inflatables, right? They're more having a visual impact, right? People aren't actually maybe touching them too much. It's more of a like, shit, there's an 80-foot Santa that's surrounding you, right?
Yeah.
But some of them, I mean, having people pour champagne and just what is it, Strawberry Disco
Circus.
Circus. Oh, that is an amazing name.
It's amazing,
It's a good band name, right?
They're amazing.
Strawberry Disco Circus.
Yeah. And they're kind of a band. They're live DJ band.
So you're having people with costumes there as well. What other like, and I know a lot is happening on the dance floor. Are there any interactive components or other interactive components to like the design for the festival?
We have like a massive beer pong tournament.
Okay, yes. So talk to me about that. So I want to learn more.
Yeah, so we have like a bracket, which you can sign up on our Instagram. And then we're going to have a real tournament.
Yeah.
Because like beer pong is an amazing game. And it's very competitive.
We recently played beer pong
Yes,
together.
we did. It's very competitive. So we're going to have a big beer pong tournament. We have like a ton of like really rad, like I don't want to give away all the surprises.
Okay, it's a secret.
There's a lot of special things.
Got it. The good news is this podcast will be released after Freedom Fest.
Cool.
Okay, so you're really creating just like a multi-sensory, like experimental space that seems pretty different from what people are used to on the day-to-day.
Yeah.
That really allows them to tap into this kind of, I don't know if it's a truer self or having more fun or just being friendlier or more authentic, whatever it is, but kind of, let's just, to use our San Diego terms, raising the vibe.
Yeah.
So I'm curious,
Definitely.
I don't know if you've thought about this before, but do you think there's anything that can be extracted from the way that you design your festivals for these unique experiences and actually like place into like kind of mundane environments?
Yeah.
Right? I feel like friendly sculptures in a way are kind of like a meeting ground of, we're trying to create elevated experiences for people, but have them be part of their everyday life rather than a specific festival.
Yeah.
So I'm curious if you have any insight on, hey, this is something I've seen at our festivals that, because I'm sure like, you know, some things might not be for every single day. I actually think it would be cool to have 80-foot Santas around town.
For sure.
That might be kind of fun and
For
interesting,
sure.
right?
Definitely.
But I don't know if everyone would agree.
Right.
But what are some things that could possibly be some lessons or strategies taken from these events and be like, hey, this could actually be 365. Like, this doesn't have to be a unique thing. This could happen every day for us.
Something that I always encourage, and like I think this is almost like a Burning Man principle too, but like immediacy is like such an important concept for me.
Yeah.
It is a Burning Man principle, but it's like, it's where, you know, like when you're walking down the street, like just saying hi without any pause. Like just saying hey.
Yeah.
Well, as you're passing somebody. And like I think in the events, thank goodness, like people really do that. Like people make a lot of friends. Like you'll go and like make friends. Like there's a lot of Almost Nakey couples out there.
Shout out Almost Nakey couples.
And they were at Will's. Anyways, there's Almost Nakey couples out there. But I think like it's a very free space where like people can say what's up and like no one's gonna be like, who the fuck are you? Why are you talking to me? Like that's just not the environment at all.
Yeah.
So I think that's the concept that I think I get to apply. I try to.
Yeah.
Because like I love saying what's up to people all the time that I don't know.
You're friendly.
You are too.
I am friendly.
Yeah, and it's just like nice, like that immediacy of a hey. Because if you wait too long, you kind of ruin it. So you have to say it right away.
So I think that you are both have tons of practice and are gifted at wanting to talk to strangers and be friendly, right? But not everyone is necessarily as predisposed to behave like that, right? And I don't think that everyone needs to be. But I do think we would be much better off individually and collectively if there was a higher level of friendliness, right? We're not over-indexed on it. So what advice would you maybe have for someone that wants to make more friends? Maybe they move to a new city where their family isn't at, or they go to college somewhere, or they move countries, or whatever it might be. How can it either happen from the individual level? Like how can people just start to think, hey, what can I do to create the more friendly conditions? Or are there spaces that they can go to, or are there spaces that can be reimagined in your mind so that would help people? Like when they're at Almost Nakey, it would help them feel like they can say hi.
Places like these.
Shout out.
Huge shout like this. I think a big thing, you know, when you're like in a new place, like what I try to do, this is like my random tidbit of advice is like if I'm in a new place, I just walk until I like meet someone.
And so it's like, all right, I'm gonna go on a journey.
Like I just walk until I see someone that I say hey to. And then I kind of let things unfold from there.
Interesting.
Like I feel like when you're in a new place, like all you can do is like, and if you're alone, I lived in New Zealand alone for a year. It was amazing. And like I met most of my friends in the water, or surfing or hiking, or you know, I lived in Indonesia for a while. I was alone by myself. Like I loved living alone in a new country because I think the thing for me is like I did not want to know what my day was gonna look like at all. I wanted to have no idea what was gonna come next. No idea. So like I just like did random, I also have to break the mold of what you would normally do. So like I kind of like broke what I thought I would typically do, and I like did the opposite thing. And it just like turned into like a web of like me meeting some unbelievable people that are my best friends today.
Solo travel really can be so valuable. I did a podcast with a guy named, do you know Josh Church? You met him before?
I don't know.
Really good dude. He's actually throwing some fun community events up in Carlsbad. He has a ice bath company called Edge 3 Labs.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. They're Sunrise Social Club. It's really fun.
Nice.
And we have a mutual friend named Corey who's done a shit ton of solo traveling. And he is the biggest proponent of it I know, and has kind of talked when you're solo dolo, right? you're gonna just have to be friendlier if you want to connect with people and whatnot. So it is a really valuable teacher.
Yeah.
And then another guy that hopped on our podcast, Gary Ware, gave the advice of, hey, be a tourist in your own city.
Yeah.
So I do think that mentality is really,
Yeah.
and then you're just more curious about things. You're more curious about people and your love of people, as you mentioned.
Definitely.
So I think it would be cool for people to just what if once a month you just walked around and you were like, I'm gonna meet someone new.
That's kind of
don't
the
know
magic.
how, don't know where.
Yeah.
It's magic.
Yeah. That is you have to. I think you have to just get on your feet.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, if you're in your car, you're not gonna do it. You're gonna pass by everybody.
That's a great distinction too between traveling by car and traveling by foot.
Like if you're walking around in a city, you're gonna bump into somebody.
You can meet someone, and it's impossible in a car unless it's under unfortunate circumstances, essentially.
Yeah.
Right. But by foot, it's kind of likely if you wanted to.
Yeah. I think it's interesting though. I mean, we all really want community. I mean, for the most part, like people want community. They want to meet each other, and like with that understanding, like I've lived in the concept that like we're all gigantic babies in adult bodies, and all we want is love.
Beautiful.
So it's like kind of something I've always lived in.
Uh-huh.
And like if you live like that, whenever you go out to like a bar, and you understand that we're all babies in adult bodies, and all we want is love, you would say hi to anybody. You know what I mean?
For sure.
So that's kind of my vibe. Like when I go out, I think the biggest thing too, like to encourage this like friendliness around you, is when you go out, you have to say hi to 5 people, even if you don't know them. Hi to the bouncer, hi to the bartender, hi to a stranger, and then all of a sudden after you said hi to 5 people, even if they don't say it back to you, you've changed the energy of the room.
Yeah.
And now it's not like it's surrounding you, but now there's momentum around you.
No, totally.
So you've kind of generated you've taken away the dead space and you've allowed for interaction to come your way. You know what I mean?
I hope I'm not connecting dots too much, but another conversation we had, Chris, who was on the podcast, suggested friendliness is an attitude. So it doesn't necessarily have to be immediately reciprocated. Like you can show up and be friendly.
Right.
Even if the other person or people that are in your vicinity might not be right there. So like what you said, right? You can kind of bring that energy, and then over time, or you do it enough, all of a sudden some dominoes start to fall as well.
And I also love some friends that like are not friendly at all. Like I have some friends I met, like this girl in New Zealand who I love, most unfriendly girl ever. And like that's a challenge too.
Sure.
And that's kind of a fun moment. Because like, if you're willing to like go head to head with that, like it's fun when they actually do warm up to you. You know?
Yeah, you look at that like a little challenge.
Like it's almost a deeper friendship.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah,
not friendly at all.
Not friendly at all. And again, there's different ways of defining like friendliness and whatnot. And I think that like introversion's awesome. Yeah. And like and some of the most amazing people I know are really introverted. Yeah. But in general, I do think that there's something really nice about knowing your neighbors, knowing your community, and having a general atmosphere of friendliness, and like what you would get to experience at an Almost Nakey festival. Some of my favorite advice that my lovely father has given me is there's enough shit that happens in life. When there's an opportunity to celebrate, say yes and take advantage of it. I feel like, and I know that behind the scenes, I can only imagine there's tons of shit that goes on with Almost Nakey that's logistically challenging and blah, blah, blah. But you have a career where basically your career is about helping people celebrate. That's fucking awesome. And I would love to hear in your words, what's that like? That's really special. I think that the beautiful thing about that, right, is like we get to create environments where people are really happy to be there. Like I'm not like working in ER where it's like the worst day of your life. Yeah. So I'm like so grateful for the fact that like I get to produce an environment where people are wanting to be there. They're grateful to be there. Yeah. They paid to be there. So that's also it's also valuable for them that they're there. They're receiving value from it. Yeah. And like for me, all I can do is like I want to just like make them feel so loved, and so like it's just such a special environment. And it's so elevated and it's so fun and people are really celebrating. Yeah. You know, it's like 4th of July and Christmas. Like these are celebratory holidays. So I just want to give them all I got. Give it everything I got. My team is so committed to that too. Like our biggest mission, right, is like I tell everybody before we start these shows, I'm like, we have to save America's birthday. If we don't do this, America's... For Freedom Fest. Yeah, America's not going to have a birthday. Yeah. Like we have to save America's birthday. And once we're in that mindset, like we all have so much passion towards it because we truly believe that we're saving America's birthday.
Same with SantaCon. Like if we don't throw SantaCon, Santa's not coming to San Diego. So like that's like such a true belief. Like we have such a belief in what we're doing that I think like we enroll everybody else in it, and then we're like living inside that dream.
I love how you're like thematically tapping into various holidays and like national symbols and stuff too. It's
so much
cool.
that goes along with it. The music, the mode, everything.
All right, so let's see. So if I were to extract some lessons on friendliness from our conversation today, it's the power of like just like geographical proximity and knowing the people who are around you. Also kind of, what was the word from Burning Man? Like immediacy?
Immediacy.
Yeah, just like really, really doubling down on knowing the people.
Just like being awake.
In your life.
I think a big thing is like, are you awake or are you dead?
Yeah.
Like if you're awake, you know, like you want that.
Yeah, you want that.
But it's thrilling.
Because you have that proximity.
Yeah.
And then I guess third is also how you can shift environments, having giant Santas to get people to step out of maybe what their homeostasis is into a better future, perhaps a friendlier future.
Yes.
All right, Liv, this has been so fun. I'm so thankful for you.
That was so special. I didn't move around as much as you, but
That's
I wish I did.
You had the throne. It was an awesome.
I had the throne.
Seat.
I had the throne.
All right, Liv, thank you so much.
So special.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you.